And so like when you break, like with anything that we do, we break it down. So like, by quarter, by month, by week, by day. And then that's my job, right? To manage the team is how to break it down. Because otherwise it's just this esoteric thing for the whole year. Like we're going to be better on client communication. Well, yeah, how are we going to do that?
Hey, and welcome back to the Difference Maker Revolution podcast. And we're not sure whether we're talking about winter or summer, but we're talking about that time in the year when we have the holiday of Christmas right through to New Year's.
Obviously, it's summer, Ronan.
Winter. Well, actually, you know what? I'm in Florida, so it's just the same.
It's summer in Australia.
Well, now that you're in Ireland, Steve, it's going to be winter. Sorry about that. But I hope your expectations are not for sunshine.
Let's not. What do you mean?
Especially when you go to the northern point of Ireland in Donegal for the break. You're going to see real winter, my friend. Real winter.
Bracing myself for that one. My first winter Christmas.
It's a good excuse to have a hot toddy in an Irish pub with a bit of that Christmas cake you've made, with a bit of Irish music being played. Sure, what more would you want during the holiday?
It sounds amazing. 6 hours in the oven, that cake. Let me just say that. Can't wait.
So for our listeners, Steve has been baking amazing Christmas cakes. Well, I believe they're amazing. I haven't tasted it yet, but that will happen.
I know. We were recording training, Steve, when you were baking that cake. He had to keep going to check on it while we were recording. It was fantastic. I was jealous that you guys get to taste it and I don't.
There's nearly 2 bottles of cognac in that. So let's just see how that works.
Trouble is, Steve, when you put it in the oven, the alcohol element just evaporates away. So you'll be all right. You won't be over the limit for driving after a slice, I promise.
Do you guys have alcohol limits for driving in Ireland? Isn't it just like...
no, we have limits. Yeah,
you have limits?
Yeah. They're getting lower and lower and lower. I think they might be... I think your limits may be more... what's the word I'm looking for? You get away with more, you guys do, than we do now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. See all those stereotypical things you say about the Irish. It's not true at all. It's not true at all. Except at Christmas time. So when Steve's up in Donegal, like, he won't be traveling very far, so he'll be grand. He'll be walking from the pub rather than driving.
There you go.
I can walk from here to the pub.
to the pub. So Jeanine, for you, at this time, like, what's going on? What's going on in the business and what's going on in life?
Yeah, so we're getting ready for Christmas, right? So this is the 23rd. I am we're recording this before, but I can tell you by the 23rd, when this airs, my Christmas shopping will have been done. I am a Black Friday week of Thanksgiving person, and that's when all of my shopping gets done, or I get everything done online. So I am wrapping presents, baking cookies, and getting ready for the big day. So it depends. My family and I, we alternate who hosts Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. For Italians, Christmas Eve is a big deal. So we do the Feast of the Seven Fishes and all that kind of good stuff. And so Christmas Eve is a big deal. Yeah, and it's funny because my mom and my sister now have developed seafood allergies to different things. So we've kind of have had to modify this Italian tradition and do different things. But regardless, so a lot of cooking, a lot of family time, getting the house all ready. I'm a big Christmas person. I love Christmas traditions. And so this is a real big time to celebrate and have fun with, shut off the rest of the world and focus on family and friends. And the kids, of course. So
where does business sit in this? Is there any business during this holiday for you, or
no.
Is it a time you shut down?
So we're done. Like the 22nd's our last day in the studio. And that's the last day. We tell people the last day to pick up is the 20th, just, that way if someone's showing up on the 21st and 22nd, it was like 5 or 6 years ago. I had a client on like December 24th who never picked up. And I was so mad at myself because I ended up having to drive their order to them because I'm not going to miss a client's Christmas. Right. So here I was, instead of spending time with my family on Christmas Eve, that morning I was off delivering something to somebody because of a miscommunication. So I vowed that would never happen again. And so the 20th is it. But we're in the studio until the 22nd, and then we're off. So we made the decision, and I didn't used to do this, but we work so many. I work 7 days a week from like mid-October until mid-December, except for those few days in Thanksgiving. And so I made the choice that I was going to this was the week I was going to take off. It's one of my set weeks off for me and my kids, and we go and do something. And of course, I'm divorced. So my ex-husband has the kids part of the week, and then I have the kids one of the weeks, and then I have the kids the other week. So the week that I don't have them, I'm typically doing business stuff, not necessarily studio work, but I am closing up things for the year, analyzing my year. I have a business meeting with myself, and I get the studio all where I want it to be, fresh and ready to go for the new year. And then the week that I have my kids, I am 100% mom. For the mom that I wasn't for the 8 weeks of holiday photography season. And it's just all kid dedication. So I kind of split my week, my holiday into 2 parts.
Very good. And Steve, you were completely the opposite, right? When you were in Australia, not only was Christmas time a time of sun and not cold, but you're going to have to get used to.
Like, it's summer holidays. The kids are all at home and wanting to go to the beach, and there's lots of sand and surf and barbecues and all of that sort of thing. But we're Italian background too, but I've never heard of this fish of the 7, whatever that was.
The 7 fishes. It's the Italian Catholic holiday. Christmas Eve festivities. Because you can't eat meat, right? You can't eat meat on Christmas Eve, so...
Right. Well, Christmas Day is huge for us. So we mainly do the Christmas Day thing. So that's the one day of the year that we were closed. And when I was running my studio, that the 26th is Boxing Day. Over here it's called St. Stephen's Day, apparently.
That is correct. There's no Boxing
likes
Day.
To shop. Is that what St. Stephen, the patron saint of shopping?
Oh, it must be.
No, I think Saint Stephen's Day. How did it get its name? I think did they get it from the Wren Boys? Maybe you know what the Wren Boys are.
No, but now I feel the need to look this up while we're talking.
So they go and they kill a wren and they put it on a stick and they go around to the houses singing songs.
Oh,
they kill a bird?
Yeah, the wren.
Oh dear.
Yeah. No, I think so. If I've got that right now, I think that's it. I've never done it, but I think it's linked to that.
Must be an Irish thing.
Jeanine's, it is an Irish thing. Stephen's Day, yeah.
So Boxing Day sales were huge because my studios were in shopping centres. So we were required to open and it was heaving. Like the stores were packed. We would sell lots and lots of gift certificates. And it was the time between Christmas and New Year when we had a lot of bookings from families that had interstate people coming in and the families together. So we opened between Christmas and New Year and then had New Year's Day off because there was a lot of demand for shoots at that time. And the centres were really busy with Christmas sales, Christmas Boxing Day sales. It was one of the biggest days of the year for selling gift certificates for us. And, of course, New Year's Day, signs went up for Valentine's Day. So the Valentine's Day promotions we usually organised by August, October. And then the signs went up with for our Valentine's Day promotions New Year's Day, pretty much.
Well, this holiday period, because it's the only time our business closes ever, right, in the year, a bit like what you were talking about, Jeanine. So the only time that I really, truly switch off, I think, is during that holiday. But it also contains a day I least like in the year, which is New Year's Day.
Why do you?
Is that because of the U2 song?
You know the U2 song?
Yeah, I was
going to
say, is that because of U2?
I remember as a teenager, like, going out for a walk on New Year's Day and being bored out of my mind, and listening to that song, and I think it's never left me. But you were talking a little bit a second ago, Jeanine, about when everything is quiet and you're with family and all that, it's also a time that you get to reflect on your business, right? You called it a business meeting with yourself, reflect on your business. And I came across something recently, and it was in the Persian courts of old, right? If somebody had an idea about something that they should do, they would discuss the idea while sober, and then they discuss the idea while drunk. And if it didn't make sense in either of those two states, they wouldn't do it. It had to make sense when the court was drunk, and it had to make sense when the court was sober.
So it had to make sense in both courts?
Yes.
Or either one. Right. Oh, wow.
In both states. Funny. When everyone in the court were drunk and when everyone in the court were sober. It had to make sense in both, otherwise. So they talk it to death both sober and they talk it to death both drunk before they make a decision. So I was thinking about Christmas in that way, that reflection, that you can reflect on something and then you can have a few drinks and then reflect again.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Too bad we all swore off of drinking earlier this year.
So I think that'd be a good idea to try on the reflection piece. When you're having your business meeting, Jeanine, do it while you're sober.
There
and
you
then
go.
Have a few drinks and do it again and see is there any difference.
I like that. Well, Ernest Hemingway used to say that too, right? Write drunk, edit sober. That's what he used to.
Yes. Right drunk, edit sober. After Steve's cake with all those 2 bottles of cognac, I'm sure that's going to happen.
I am sure. Oh my gosh.
So Jeanine, tell us... Sorry, I'm thinking about something now. I'm not going to even say it. What I was going to say.
Don't do it. Don't make me laugh, please. I don't want to cry again.
So Jeanine, tell us the importance of rest at this time too, right? So just being away from your business, taking time just to rest and recuperate. How important is that for you in your business?
It's important for me. I mean, I'm a pretty perpetual person, as you guys know. My natural state is to go, go, go. But the rest run is for real, and even people who are perpetual like me, I'm pretty sure Steve is very perpetual as well, just from what I've come to gather. You still need to rest. And you still have family, right? And so while I might be perpetual and could go, 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 I think I would be disowned by all of my loving children, partner, family, if I was that all the time. So it's a great time for me to just stop. It gives everybody mom's going to be going until she stops, but then she's all focused on us. And so it allows me to rest. It allows me to put 100% focus on what I'm doing with the kids and not have to be checking in on work all the time, which is why I do like that week. Because even during my summer holiday with the kids, I'm working a lot of that. I'm answering emails. The studio is still open, right? So the girls are messaging me with questions from clients, or I'm, whatever the case may be, I'm writing email. I'm still working, even though we're on summer vacation. And so I'm not really shut off completely then. So this is the one time I am completely shut off. The studio is closed. I think I had told you earlier, it's permission from the world to rest because no one is bothering us. And no one's expecting a response. And so it allows me to turn it off because I need that permission to turn off because I won't turn off naturally on my own. Does that answer your question?
It does. Because it is important, isn't it, Steve, to take some time to rest, that you can't be going a million miles an hour.
Yeah. I'm really bad at that.
But Rob wants you to stop every now and then, right?
Yeah, he's the break. He's okay, it's time. You need to stop now. But I don't notice the time. Like, it's Monday, then it's like the end of the week, and the next week starts. And so for me, it's, when you love what you do, it doesn't.
Yeah, you just keep doing it.
Notice it. So for me to take a break, I literally have to be on a plane and be in another country or state or out of my environment, because if I'm in my environment, I can't help myself, because I've always worked from home. Or because I had my studio, I couldn't have an office really in the studio because it just wasn't a place for it, not a real office where you can be strategic. And so that was done at home. So I had two places of work. And so it was really hard to shut off unless you left. And so, and that's the time when you start planning and spend some time with the kids and do all those fun things. And then I would book an extra few days just for me to plan the rest of the year. Look at what we've done and what we did well and how we can replicate that and build more systems.
So, Jeanine, getting back to New Year's, do you make New Year's resolutions at this time?
I'm not a New Year's resolution person. I mean, I'm more of a theme person. I know this will shock you. So I said it. Are you shocked? So I
I'm
usually
shocked.
will set a theme for the year. Like, this is what I want to focus on. This is what the studio theme is going to be. This is what our, and so I will set themes for the year. But I don't really set New Year's resolutions because I feel like I'm one of those, and I think we've talked about this before. Like, I am kind of one of those, like resolutions that just seem to be things that people naturally break, and they don't, and then you have a reason to feel bad about it and things like that. Whereas if you're continuing on with your themes and whatnot, I find that to be something that you stick with, and it sticks with me because that's just kind of the person I am. I'm a theme person. So when I'll like usually will come up with, this is the theme for the studio for the year, and this is for my personal life, and this is the season we're going to be in, and that's kind of,
give us an example of that, will you? Because we don't have that this side of the world. What? Making a theme for the year.
Well, I don't know if anybody has it, Ronan. It's me.
Okay. Oh, it's Jeanine.
I think it's an American thing. So maybe focus would be a good word, right? So, this past year, my whole theme and my whole focus for the studio was on communication. And so that was everything I did focused on improving the communication with our clients, every step of the way. And so that was, and with the team and with the girls and our stand-up meeting focus, everything was focused on client communication. And that was what I wanted to improve on. And so for me, I felt it was better than saying our New Year's resolution is to have better communication with our clients. And we're going to do that. You know what I mean? As opposed to, this is our theme. And so when I reflected on that, and then I took it to the team, I'm like, this year we're going to focus on this, and everything that we work towards, I want to make sure that we're always focused on client communication. So that's kind of what I mean by theme. And work with that.
How did it work out?
Great. And it is something we still focus on. And so even at the top of our daily meeting thing, when we have our team meetings, I'll put different little fun quotes, and it's always about how we focus on the client and making clients happy. And, I change those out depending, I have ChatGPT help. So I'm like, I need some holiday related client communication focus quotes for the team this week, and it gives me 5 to put at the top of my papers. So it's just fun. And I think that people are more receptive to that too. As opposed to, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I think if I would have gone to the team and said, here is the New Year's resolution for the studio this year. A year is a really long time. And so when you break, with anything that we do, we break it down. So by quarter, by month, by week, by day. And then that's my job, right? To manage the team, is how to break it down. Because otherwise it's just this esoteric thing for the whole year. We're going to be better on client communication. Well, yeah, how are we going to do that? And so we would have different focuses, and I broke that down into and that's what I do during that week. Right. So I already know my schedule for 2025. I pretty much know all of our promotions and things we're going to do. But that week is when I really can focus on the projects. I have my big whiteboard. These are all the projects and to go with what we're going to work on. And then I break it down by quarter, break it down by month, break it down by week on what we're going to actually do.
So Jeanine, as you were talking, I was thinking to myself, I used to not do a theme, but when you've got responsible for a team, there's that drive to start to make things happen and begin to, make sure things happen. But what if you're a solopreneur? A lot of our members are solopreneurs. How would they, how do you, I don't know, you're not a solopreneur, but how could you imagine you can translate that for?
So I think you could do the same thing. It's just with yourself, right? So you're going to, instead of, you could still have that same theme, right? So let's say you're a solopreneur and 2025, I want to focus on client communications. Here are the big projects I need to work on. I need to work on my booking to session pipeline and everything with that. And look, it's amazing because this training that the Difference Maker have provided for Inner Circle for this is huge. So I'm going to focus on this, but I can't do it all at once. And while this is my focus, I know I need to work on this. So I'm going to break it down. And Q1, I'm going to work on X. Q2, I'm going to work on Y. Q3, I'm going to work on, and so you break it down and where you're going to move your projects into. And then, my whiteboard would have, and it's the same thing. It's just, you're not delegating to other people. You're delegating to yourself.
So I heard you talk about your morning stand-ups or stand-up meeting or something like that. Mm-hmm. Is that something that a solopreneur should do as well, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. You need to have that.
What happens during that stand-up?
So for us, like even, and I'll tell you, like there are days like Mondays, not anymore because Betsy now comes in on Monday, but Monday used to be my day in the studio by myself. And I would still do them. All right. What's the focus of today? What are my, like, who's coming in the studio? Who are we focusing on?
Did you literally stand up?
Yes, I do. Then that's thanks to Ronan. I didn't used to. I used to just do it while sitting with my cup of coffee, but now I kind of pace. I get out some energy that way, or I hang from my bar to like straighten out my back. But no, so with the girls, I do stand up. And we otherwise, if you sit, you end up taking too long, and you're there for a long time. So we stand up, we go through it, we go who's coming into the studio for the day, how can we love on them, what do we need to do to make their experience even better? And that's for both sessions and design consultations. So both of those, right? So or client pickups, right? So we know who's coming in for all of those, and how we're going to make that better. But then like the tasks for the day too. So like right now I have Betsy on a couple of tasks that she's going to be doing. And so we'll go through that. So it might not necessarily always be client focused. It could be studio running focused,
Right.
and stuff like that. So that's what we do. And if it was just me, and same thing, I go through, okay, I need to get these social media posts done. I need to make these phone calls today. I need to write this Black Friday email. I need to, like X, Y, Z, like the things that I need to do and when I need to get them done in between you guys and my clients.
Well, it's interesting, Jeanine, about this idea of the stand-up, right? And there was a supermarket chain that it was sold a number of years ago, but it built up from nothing. It was called Super Quinn, right? And the guy who set it up and ran it and then sold it for multi millions was a guy called Fergal Quinn. And when he was having meetings with his team, he always insisted it to be on the shop floor, to be literally in the middle of the supermarket. He did all his meetings with his team standing up in the supermarket.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe it works, Jeanine.
Maybe it does work. And not that I wear an Apple Watch, but if I wore an Apple Watch, then it wouldn't yell at me because I was sitting so much.
Yeah. Like mine.
Like yours. When it goes off in the middle of training.
I don't have an Apple Watch of a Fitbit, but every now and again it beeps to say, you need to do 250 steps this hour. Yeah. You've done nothing, You've lazy done devil. Nothing, get up. You lazy lump. You lazy lump, get up.
But it's interesting, Ronan, going back to like this week. I love this week because of the quiet. The craziness of the holidays. Specifically like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are done. You get to relax. I don't know. I find it very magical. Like everything you've worked so hard for has come to fruition. The kids are happy. Family's happy. Everybody's just in this little bliss. And then it's quiet. And I know up north and like people who have snow, they have that kind of quiet. And like, there's always that peace that comes with it. We don't get that down here. Clearly we're in Florida and it's still 80 freaking degrees outside, but, but there is like this peace over the land. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe it's just something I infer because it's what I wish for, but I do feel it. And so I am able to escape for that day. Like I said, I take a day and I just reflect on I reflect, but I also do it with numbers, right? Because I'm a numbers person. So I have all my numbers for the year. I have that handy and I'm looking through it and I'm diving in, looking for trends that I might have missed while living in it. And I'm reflecting on it and like, what did I notice? What can I do better? What worked well? What can we improve on? What do we need to definitely do? What do we need to scrap? And like all that kind of stuff that when you're in it and you're not reflecting, you might either end up tending to just keep doing the same thing that you always do because it's just what you do. Or you end up sliding and like one of those two things will happen. Like you slide or you just keep trudging. And so like, I find that to be a really good time to do it. And it allows you, but the resting and the reflecting allows you to rejuvenate and come back to the studio for the new year, ready to go with a new sense of vibrance and excitement. And let's do it. We're going to kill it this quarter, and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's another American thing I want to ask you about, Jeanine. I'm sorry, Steve, that I'm putting all the focus on Jeanine, but we're on a roll here. Jeanine, tell me this. I never saw this before until I had friends in America on Facebook. And they publish at this time too their 3 words for next year.
Yeah.
What's that all about? Like,
so I guess that's so it's a newer American thing. And I think it got started by the jewelry companies because they like to sell you bracelets with the word on it. But it's a word, like, what is your word of the year? And then you get it put on a bracelet and you wear it. So whatever word you want to focus on. I've never heard 3. Most people I know pick one word, like, this is my word of the year. And it's health, focus, love, concentration, reading, whatever it is. And it's something that you want to focus on improving yourself personally for the year. And then, put it on a bracelet. Like I said, I think the jewelry companies made it kind of like Hallmark made Mother's Day type thing.
If you picked 3 though, Jeanine, you could buy 3 bracelets.
You could buy 3 bracelets. They should do a buy 2, get 1. Buy 2 bracelets, get 1 for free. So
you wouldn't value the 3rd one anyway.
No, that would just be an extraneous word. Let me just pick one just to get it. Yeah. But that's what that is, Ronan. So it's people focusing on words. I think it's the idea, same thing that a lot of people fail their New Year's, or like just so common. I'm going to, go to the gym. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to walk a mile. Like, all those things are just over and done. And then people are done with them by the end of January. Because they're not really making any life changes. Whereas like the word, it gives you that sense of it's something you can focus on and it can be your theme for the year.
Oh, you turned it into a theme.
I did. Sorry.
So Steve, if you had to have a word for 2025, what would it be?
Oh,
just one word, Steve.
One word.
that would change the trajectory of your life for 2025.
Joy. Joy.
I like that.
And what's yours going to be, Jeanine? Or do you have
Darn it. I thought we were focusing on Steve now. If I had to pick
He's done with me really quickly, Jeanine.
What do you say?
He's done with me. That's his thing.
He's done with you.
That's his thing.
I don't know. I'll have to think about this one. But if I had to pick right now, I don't know. I don't want to use the word contentment because that's the wrong word, but I need to find a good word that's just going to be, I'm going to be happy and content with what's happening, because I know it's going to be a tough year for me. Aaron's leaving, she's going to college, and I know I'm just going to have to accept it. Maybe acceptance is my word. I'm going to have to accept my new, but I know it's coming and I already feel it. And so I'm just like, and you guys know, I love the circle of life. I love all that. I love going through life with you guys, with my clients, with my family. But that's all well and good until someone leaves. And I know it's a part of life, and I'm very proud of her and I'm very excited for her. So maybe it's just the acceptance that life does need to move forward. And while I say it all the time and I photograph families as they're sending their children off into college, I need to accept it for myself that this is the next stage of life and be happy with it.
It's going to be a rediscovery, Jeanine.
Ronan, what's your word of the year? What's going to be your 2025?
What's my word of the year going to be for 2025? I think it's got to be amplify.
Like your YouTube music? Like amplify the music louder?
We'll just leave it at amplify for now.
I know what you mean by that. I like that.
Our members will know in January. And our future members will know in January. So there we are.
Fantastic.
We were worried coming into this podcast that we wouldn't be able to talk long enough about it.
Oh,
imagine that. Put the 3 of us together.
We can talk about nothing for, it's like Seinfeld. We can talk about a whole show about nothing.
Just dismiss Australia. Just dismiss Australia, Ronan.
So, everybody, your theme for the year has to be to become a difference maker. So click on the link below and join the Difference Maker Revolution, and make sure that 2025 is the best success for you. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
See you in 2025. Bye, everyone.
See you guys in the new year. Bye.